Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you very much for joining me in Springwatch. We're into the first week. It's 14 projects that are going to come out to you back to back, focusing on the spring catalogue and the celebration catalogue, but we've still got another week to go, and that's great. Now, I make cards a lot of the time. I do 3D projects mostly on video, and I put my card projects directly onto my blog. And because of the nature of the fact that I'm in the UK and I work with International A4, and although we are a metric country, we do work with Imperial as well, but I also appreciate that a lot of you are out there who are watching and reading my blog are in North America, so you work with 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So it's incredibly rare for me to write measurements of cards, card blanks and mats and layers, because it would just become ridiculously complicated. But I've had quite a few people say, please can you help me with how to layer a card? So I'm going to work in International A4 cardstock in metric, because that is the standard that I work in. The way to do it, to do other layers, I will talk about as I go, but I'm going to cut, build, score and everything, an entire card for you so you can see how I'm working. So this video, we're working in metric. The principle will apply in Imperial. So I'm going to put that out to one side. So I have got all of my bits of card here. Other than this, I'm starting with full sheets to show you how I work it. So I have my thick Whisper White, which is this one. I have Rose Red this time because I like to be different. And I have regular Whisper White, and then I've got my glimmer paper. So you start with your card blank. So this is my full sheet of cardstock. Like I say, it's International A4, so it measures 210 millimetres by 297 millimetres, or 21 centimetres by 29.7. The principle will apply. We're going to cut it straight down the middle. So if you're working with 8.5 by 11, cut yours straight in half in the middle. If you want to work your International Metric A4 in inches, just cut it in the middle. Work out what the middle point is and cut it down. So I know that half of 21 centimetres is 10.5. So that's where I'm going to cut mine down. And I also, because I work with this all of the time, know that half of that is 14.8 centimetres. So that's my half a sheet of card, cut in half. You're now going to score it in half. So again, doesn't matter what size you're working with, score it in half. So I know that's my score point, 14.8. That is my card blank. This is what's known as a card blank. Some people call them card bases. Card base, card blank, that's it. It's cut, it's scored. Cut it in half, score it in half. Gotcha? We now know what the measurements of this are now that I've done it. So I'm going to scribble this down. It is now cut down, and it is 10.5 centimetres that way, and it's 14.8 centimetres that way. So it's 10.5 by 14.8. I want to put some layers on top that are a fraction smaller, so I just work in half centimetres. So my next layer that I'm going to do is going to be 10 centimetres, because it's 10.5 minus 5, or half centimetre. I'm taking off that, it's going to be 14.3 centimetres. And if you like to work in Imperial, take off 1/4 of an inch. Simple as that. So that's all you do. So that's going to be my next layer. So here's my sheet of cards. So from my original, I've still got one I could make. This one, I'm going to cut it down to 10. So there's a big old sheet there left over by 14.3. And that is my layer that's going to go over the top. And I probably could do with a black under. Oh, let's grab my scoring tool just so you can see it. So there you go, that is going to border perfectly because I've taken off half a centimetre. Or like I say, in Imperial, you would take off half an inch. 1/4 of an inch, I'm sorry, 1/4 of an inch. I want to put a further layer over the top of this, which is a white one. I'm going to do exactly the same principle again. So 10 centimetres by 14.3, we're going to take it down to 9.5 by 13.8. So this next layer that I'm going to cut, which is going to be the white one you can see, take it down to 9.5, which is over here, by 13.8. And once again, that is going to layer beautifully. Let me get that dark thing in. So those are my layers that are the same all the way around. And that's how you cut the bases for your card. And like I say, if you work in Imperial, take it down 1/4 of an inch and then you'll get a nice, gentle, shallow border. I don't know whether you can see my scribblings. I hope you can. I did use different colours. Okay, so that's my card base done. With the layers that I've put on here, it's not as essential that you do specific measurements that are, you know, a percentage of the depth or the length or the width or anything like that. I just worked out what I fancied in the width and doubled it. So my glitter panels are 7 inches long by 3.5 inches wide because centimetres. Oh, they're 3.5 centimetres wide. That's how wide I wanted it to be. So I just doubled the length and I did 3 of them. And my white layers, 3 by 6, so 3.5 by 7 or 3 by 6.5. And in Imperial, 1 3/8 by 2 3/4 or 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. And that's kind of how I work things out. So this is my glimmer paper. A tip for you if you're using our trimmer, because if you put your glimmer paper through like that, you're going to blunt your trimmer blade. So just flip it over. So 7 inches, 7 centimetres, and I'm going to trim this down. Oh, I've done that wrong. So I'm cutting off 3.5 by 7 inch panels. Oh, in metric, 3.5 by 7 centimetre panels. So that's my 3 panels. They're going to go all the way around. And then this one is going to be, should be 6 centimetres. Just going to double check it. It is. 6 centimetres by 3 centimetres. And like I say, the same principle applies. It's whatever your base is, just knock it down 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 centimetre. There we go. Right. And obviously, because we are in Springwatch, let's do some spring stuff. So we've got the gorgeous Blushing Bride glimmer paper that is from the spring, and I'm using my Free Flowering Fields stamp set, which I love. Very, very pretty, and I'm doing a rose red version of it. So, which one shall I go for this time? I think we'll go for that one, which is there. And we'll go for that one, which is there, and we'll have a whimsily one. We'll have that one, I think. Yes. Probably don't make any sense as far as the as far as the colour is concerned, but you know, we don't worry about that too much because I don't know anything about flowers. So let's get that lined up on my block. And my rose red ink. One of those. So I'm just cleaning that. I've got my stamping scrub there because I want to take that off and stick the next one on. And don't you just love a free stamp set? Oh, spend £45 or €60, not sure what it is in any of the dollar varieties, but for every £45 or €60 you spend, you get to choose something for free. Love it, love it, love it. We all love free things, don't we? And then the final one there. Oh, that one fitted perfectly. That was unexpected. Okay, so now to stick it all together. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of these because I find that dimensionals stick to glimmer paper better than anything else. One more. Glimmer paper, obviously, because it's rough, it's not a smooth finish, you have to sort of kind of wedge it onto it. There we go. And then the final one, you know what, I think the blushing bride on the blushing bride looks best. Okay, now to put my layers together. I'm that clever that what I've just cut these white layers out of was the top layer of the card. Oh dear, let's just cut another white layer. Not bright, is it? Oh dear. It's because I didn't put them out to one side. So let's just put this back on here. So we'll just adhere this down. It's a good job the trimmer was close by, really, wasn't it? So keep, these are mats, these are known as mats and layers, and so you stick your mats and layers together and then stick them on your card blank or card base. And I'm going to stick these on as well. So which order do I want them? I think I'll have that one. Yeah, I'll go like that, I think. So these two, I'm going to stick them directly onto the card. This one up in the top corner. Oops. That one down to one side. And this one I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back because it's elevated very slightly. But I'm going to keep them to the bottom. Because there is going to be a bit of an overlap there. And then to finish off, a little wink of Stella. We'll just splodge it on quite randomly. And because of the ink, it will bleed very slightly, and so you'll get sort of almost a watercolour look on all your flower heads and petals, and it's rather nice. And it's the darker the ink, the more it happens with, rather than the paler colours. It didn't particularly happen on this one, but I can see it's happening. You can see it here quite clearly. And there's little dabs on there. Wink of Stella is very forgiving. I kind of call it embossing for cheats. Oh, I've just stripped it. Whoopsie. Having issue with my Wink of Stella, aren't I? Oh, it is. I've just squelched it. But there we go. Very shimmery. Very pretty. You can see that one. That one's dry. It's just twinkling and winkling. Is that a word? I don't know. But anyway, that's how to cut for a card. I really do hope that was useful. I'm sorry I couldn't put it into all of the differing measurements, but we'd have all confused ourselves, let alone me. So I do hope that's useful, and thank you ever so much for joining me.